Hello friends, I'm Neha from ixamBee. Today in this video, I'll be discussing about Companies Act 2013. Under this, I'll be discussing about the Memorandum of Association, which is one of the most important areas under Companies Act. Memorandum of Association, we know that two important documents are there of a company. One is the Memorandum of Association and the other is the Articles of Association. In this video, we'll be discussing about the Memorandum of Association, which is considered as one of the most important documents among these two documents. So the Memorandum of Association, this is actually considered as the constitutional charter of the company. And why it is considered so? Because it states the very object purpose for which the company is actually formed, and therefore it determines the relationship which is there between the company with the outsider. Then the Memorandum of Association that must be in forms that are actually specified or detailed in table A to E, that is these five in these five tables which are provided under Schedule 1 of the Act. This Memorandum of Association that is required to be prepared by the company at the time of its being incorporated or when it is going to get itself incorporated. And as we discussed that it is an important document as it states the very objective for which the company is to be formed, and the company cannot act beyond any of the provisions that are being laid down in the Memorandum of Association. However, if the company actually does any act or any act of the company is beyond the provisions which are detailed in the Memorandum of Association, then in that case it will be amounting to an ultra virus act and it will be considered as a void one. There can be amendments or changes made to this document, okay, but that can be done as per the procedures which are detailed under section 13 of the Act. So any amendment, any changes to the Memorandum of Association that can be done by the company as and when it is required. However, it has to be in compliance with section 13. The Memorandum of Association that consists of certain important clauses as its content. So there are basically 6 clauses which have to be detailed and specified in the Memorandum of Association. The first one is the name clause, the second is the object clause, then the registered office clause, the liability clause, the capital clause, and lastly the subscription clause. Now looking at each of these, we can see that the name clause. Okay, so in this name clause, the name of the company that needs to be specified since the company is a legal entity. It has its own identity, so its name needs to be specified in the name clause. And if it's a public company, the company has to use the word limited at the end of its name, and if it's a private company, then the company's name that should be suffixed with private limited. However, either of these words they are not required to be used or suffixed if it's a section 8 company. And in case of an IFSC company, whether it be a public or a private company, the name should be suffixed with International Financial Service Company or IFSC as the very part of the name of the company. Now, if we look at the object clause, we can see that the object clause, or we can say the purpose clause. So basically, the object clause, it determines all the activities which the company will be undertaking on its incorporation. So under the object clause, there are main objects which the company will be following on its incorporation. So the main object states all those objects which the company will be undertaking once it's incorporated. Ancillary objects are those type of objects which are actually incidental for the very achievement of the main objects of the company. And lastly, the other objects. So in the other objects are those type of objects which are not actually included in the main object clause. However, the company might take up those, or the company in anticipation uh, of those objects being taken up by the company in the future, includes those in its other object clause, since it is not included in the object clause of the registered office clause. So the registered office clause, that will be mentioning or stating the state where the registered office of the company that will be situated, and it will be the official address of the company wherein all the communication with the company will be taking place. And normally all the statutory books, records, etc. with respect to the company that are kept at the registered office. Liability clause. This liability clause actually will be detailing, or it will be stating the nature of liability of its members. So if the company is limited by shares, in that case, the liability of the member, that will be up to the nominal value of the shares which will be held by the members. And if in case the shares they are fully paid, then in that case the liability of the member, it will be nil. However, if the shares are actually partly paid, then in that case the liability of the member will be limited to the very amount of the unpaid shares. Now, if the company is limited by guarantee, in that case the liability clause, that will be stating the amount which the member has actually undertaken to contribute to the assets of the company in case of its being wound up. Next comes the capital clause. So this clause will be mentioning the amount of capital with which the company will be getting itself registered, and it will also specify the division of capital along with the name of the member. Lastly comes the subscription clause. So this subscription clause, in this, the subscribers, they will be declaring their desire to be formed into a company, and also the desire that they will be taking up the shares which are stated against their respective names, and at least one share that must be subscribed by each of the subscribers. And if in case it's a OPC, that is one person company, then in that case the name of the person that has to be detailed over there, who will be in the event of the death of the subscriber, that person will be becoming the member of the company. So now friends, I would like to update you that we at ixamBee, we are having an online course of IBPS RRB SO Scale to Law Officer. In this online course, you will be getting a crisp to the point study notes. Then the video lessons will be provided to you, and apart from that, full length practice tests which will be including mock tests, chapter tests, CCQs, etc. Then there are live doubt clarifying classes which are being held, wherein you can clarify your doubts, and each and every subject has an expert faculty. Apart from that, the interview guidance which is being provided, that is under the guidance of the expert. So friends, if you want to enroll in this course, you can visit our website www.ixamBee.com, or you can contact us on this number and get yourself enrolled for this course. Apart from this, you can subscribe to our channel, or you can press the bell icon so as to get the latest updates and notifications with respect to the upcoming government exams. Thank you.